Hey guys, welcome back. Hope y'all are doing alright. So I got a groovy song for y'all today. I just heard this song for the first time last Sunday. It was being played a lot during the commercial breaks on Fox during the football games. And I didn't know who it was, but I couldn't get the song out of my head. It was stuck in my head all day. I kept hearing all this funky stuff that I could put over the song. And so I googled the only line in the song I could remember, which was "You're My Moonlight, Starlight." And this popped right up as Dua Lipa. And I'd heard her name before a bunch, but I didn't know who she was or what her music sounded like or even what she looked like. And so, yeah, man, I was pretty surprised. Like, she's got some really great songs, and man, she's smoking hot. Like, fine. Like, she's so fine, like you put an O in front of the I. She's fine, right? So, anyway, what we're going to do is we're going to play this in a super funky way. We're going to do the vocal melody part that she's singing, and we're going to just do it in kind of this funk rhythm with some triads, and then we're going to embellish the chorus rhythm and just play it a little more funky, and then I'll show you some other kind of cool funky stuff that you can do to make it more guitar centric. Alright, so in case anyone's curious about what I'm doing in the intro, how I made that, there's no computers or Pro Tools or any kind of recording programs going on. I don't use any kind of software. Everything's very like analog and old school that I do. But I just use this Dr. Rhythm, this Boss drum machine, right? A friend of mine, a mentor I had, he gave me one of these years ago, and I use it every day. I have 3 of these things now because I fill up all the memory, I run out of space, and I don't want to delete my drum loops. So what I do is I just find out what the tempo is of the song, okay, dial in the tempo is 103 beats a minute, turn on a click track, and then I just sit there with my fingers and make the beat as best I can, and then I just make the bass line. And I just looped it over and over. This one was easy because it's just the same bass line over and over. You can only loop like 32 bars with these things. So yeah, it just repeats over and over again. And then I plug that into one amp and turn it on. And then I have my guitar into another amp and just have both of those playing together. And then I just hit record on my camera here, and that's it. And then it's how I get her vocal melody. We have all this like technology now where you can take a song and isolate all the tracks. So I just do that, and I take out all the music and just lay her vocal melody right on top of what I recorded playing. And if you play in time and you have the right tempo, it's going to work, right? So that's all I was doing. And in case you were curious, it's a fun thing to do. I love doing it. But it's great practice. Definitely keeps you honest. And but yeah. All right, so we start out with the verse. In the verse, what we're basically doing is, if you walk down just the root note of the melody she's singing, you'd have this, right? And so every note that we hit, we go F sharp, E, D, C sharp, B, A. We're going to be playing either the major third of a triad or the 5, right? So we're going to start out with D major. That F sharp will be the major third. Then we'll walk down to A major. E will be the 5. Then we go to G major, D will be the 5, A major, C sharp will be your major third, and so on, right? So the whole key to this is really the right hand rhythm and just the muting, right? So the rhythm is going to be basically a muted down hit and then a down up down triplet, right? So you get Alright, so that's what we're going to be doing. So we start out D major, 12 on D, 11 on G, bar B and E on 10. Give it a muted down hit, and then upstroke, downstroke, upstroke, right? And that'll be the strumming pattern for the first 3 triads we do. Okay, and after that, we're going to walk down and we're going to play A major, like the first inversion, with your C sharp on the bottom. You could bar it. You could just play the D shape if you wanted to. I just like having that root note, or that third in there. So I have D on 11, bar G, B, and E on 9, have 10 on the B string. Alright, same rhythm, muted down hit, and then up, down, up triplet. Alright. Okay, then we're going to do the same thing. We're going to walk down a whole step, play the same shape. This will be our G major. Same thing, alright? You have 9 on D, bar G, B, E on 7, have 8 on the B string. Muted down hit, up, down, up. Alright, so all 3 of those. Okay, then we're going to do the same thing, a muted down hit. And then we're going to go to A major, okay? So I have 7 on D, 6 on G, bar B and E on 5. Same thing, muted down hit, down, up, down, right? Okay, then after we have A major, we're going to go up to B minor. Have 9 on D, bar G, B, E on 7. This is where the rhythm will change a little bit. Okay, it's going to be a... So you just have this down hit, up, down, up, and then you have an extra down hit. So it's like 5 quarter notes. And then we go back to A, and then back to B minor. And I'll kind of add a muted hit in between there sometimes, like a... You can play it however you want, just kind of feel it. It's hard to teach right hand rhythm type stuff because it's just kind of a feel thing. I don't think about what I'm doing. I'm not thinking about upstrokes or downstrokes, or I'm not thinking at all about what my right hand is doing. It just does it, right? So just kind of do whatever you feel, right? So that whole sequence. And then in between, when we repeat it the second time, you could just do the snare hit. It'll go like a... But I just like to keep the rhythm going and just do a 16th note kind of thing. Like that. And then you just repeat it. I think she does it like twice. Then we get into this octave part, right? So then we're just going to follow her vocal melody again. And this part, it's kind of tricky to teach, but I'm going to try my best. So after we get into it, I just kind of slide off. I just do a lot of the slides in between just to keep the feel and the rhythm going. Alright, so we're going to walk up. We're going to have these octaves on the A and the G string. We're going to have 2 on A and 4 on G. Alright, use your middle finger to mute out the low E string, and then use your index finger to mute out the G, B, and E, or the B and E. And then just use your right hand to keep that muted rhythm going. Alright, so we're going to give it a muted down hit. And it's going to be a triplet, right? Same thing, muted down hit, up, triplet. And then we're going to slide in to your C sharp octave, 4 on A, 6 on G. And then I kind of give it a mute. I just give it a muted down hit, and then an upstroke. Alright, and then we're going to slide in. Yeah, slowing it down makes it kind of weird. It's basically just sliding in. You just got to slide into that 5 and 7 on A and G. It's really a timing thing. You just gonna have to play along to get that vocal melody, right? Alright, so after you go from D, we're gonna walk up to your E. Have 7 on A, 9 on G. And then we're gonna slide from the E to your F sharp. Have 9 on A, 11 on G. When you get here, do that muted down hit, down, up, down. Then we're going to go up to 12 on A, 14 on G. This will be our A note. Hit it once. And then walk back to your F sharp on 9 on A and 11 on G. And slide off, right? So you have... And just kind of slide off on the low E. And in between, you really want to smack down hard over the front pickup and get those mutes. And then we're going to walk it down. We're going to start on F sharp. 9 on A, 11 on G. This will all be the same rhythm. Just have a muted down hit, up, down, up. Then walk back down to 7A, 9 on G, same rhythm. And then walk down to your D note, 7 on A, 9 on G. Then go down a half step to your C sharp, have 4 on A, 6 on G. So we have. Then when we get to B, we'll do a down hit. And then we'll do a down, up, down, right? And then we go to A, just hit it once. Open A, D, G, and B on 2. And then you just go back to this B octave, 2 on A, 4 on G, right? So getting into it, you have then we get into the verse or the chorus part, right? And I think I'm pretty much playing what they're playing. I don't know. I really don't know what they're doing. I just do what I think sounds right. I just use my ear and then kind of add in my own little things. So we're going to be sliding in. So that's everything, right? So we did the intro, or the first verse vocal melody, and then we did the octave vocal melody, and then the only thing that's left is going to be the chorus part, right? So basically all we're doing is we're going to be playing like 3 triads, but we're going to be sliding into them from a half step back. You know, it's just like the oldest kind of funk trick in the book, right? And then it's really just about getting that slappy 16th note rhythm in between. So we're going to slide in to a B minor, 9 on D, or G, B, E on 7. But we're going to start from a half step back on B flat. And you kind of want to lay back and just slide in kind of slow, right? Like be in time, but just kind of let it. You know, it's a hard thing to teach, but you just kind of want to stay behind the beat a little bit as you're sliding in, right? Alright, so after you slide up into that B minor, I just hit it once. And then we do a 16th note, down, up, right? Then we're going to slide into our A major. Just start from a half step back, have 11 on D, bar G, B, and E on 8, have B on 9, and slide in to your A major, right? 11 on D, bar G, B, E on 9, have B on 10. And then again with the 16th note scratch, right? And then we're going to walk back after we do that A major. Okay, you got to make sure you're in time on this one. It'll throw you off. So you got to really make sure you're on the beat when you hit this note in between. They don't really do this triad every time. He does it a couple times, but I think sometimes it's left out on the record. But I like to do it every time. I think it sounds really good. So after you walk back, we're just going to hit that A flat major, you can call it, G sharp major, however you want to see it. Just have 11 on D, or 10 on D, bar G, B, E on 8, and 9 on the B string. Alright, so we go. Okay, and then from there, we're going to go back a half step with that same shape to G major. Okay, and then we're just going to do that down, up, 16th note, let it ring out, right? Okay, and then we'll slide back in. And this time we'll slide in to B minor. Okay, we'll go back from B flat minor, 8, 6, 6, 6, up to 9, 7, 7, right? So that's your whole chorus part. We got. Now when it turns around, they do it again. You don't slide into it. Like slide into it the first time, and then the second time play it straight. All right, you can play a down, up, down up, like a 16th note, 4/4 notes. You could even make it like 5 notes. You want to make it like a whatever you call that. You could, just mess around with it. There's a lot of room in playing funk to add in extra notes and extra beats and stuff like that. As long as you land back on the one, you can kind of get away with doing a lot of stuff in between and play with the time, right? So that's that whole part. And then that part where she sings "I'm levitating." When you slide into this B minor, you can just hold this shape down, bar that G, B, and E on 7, and then you can just pull off from 9 to 7 on G, and then pull off 9 to 7 on D. I'm levitating. Alright? Alright, so that's just right out of your B minor pentatonic thing, right? So that's that whole part. Okay, and then from there, that's pretty much it. I didn't really have like a dismount planned when I was playing this. I was just kind of grooving along, and I was just going to improvise something. So at the end, I was kind of just doing this like funky kind of reggae type of thing, where you pulse each note. And I was just doing that really quick. Just doing that kind of stuff, noodling like. If you've never done that before, it can be kind of tricky because you got to mute everything out. And I was just kind of going 90 miles an hour with my right hand, But you got to pulse it, otherwise it doesn't sound right. If you just play it straight, it's like. But you got to get that. Alright, so that's everything. It's a great song, so much fun to play along to. When I was working on that groove, just put on a drum beat, right? Like, just sit here. Just groove along, right? You don't even have to play a note. Just sit there with your right hand. And just start playing around and get that groove down, right? And then just start piling on, layering on everything into it, right? Alright, so that's the whole tune. Like, it's great, man. Just make sure you always play with some kind of groove, right? I'd rather play with a drum beat than a metronome. Just something to keep you in time, keep you honest, right? Because if you don't do those things and you get in a live situation with a band, man, you get found out real quick. And that happened to me early on in my early days of guitar playing, and I really got with it with the click track. So that's it, man. It's a great song. I love this tune. I'm going to check out more of her music. Maybe I'll do some more if I can, hear more things in my head, how I can kind of, make it a more guitar-centric type of thing. But that's it, man. I hope you guys enjoy it. Practice slow. Have fun. I'll see you next time.